Welcome all. In last class we have seen the basics about PN junction. So in today's class we will see forward and reverse bias condition in a PN junction. So what is PN junction? When a p-type semiconductor is joined with an n-type semiconductor, a junction will be formed that is known as PN junction. So we know in the p-type semiconductor holes are the majority carriers, and in the n-type semiconductor the electrons are the majority carriers. So obviously there will be a tendency of combining of electrons and holes at the junction. So when these holes and electrons are combined at the junction, what remains are uncompensated positive and negative ions. At the p side we have negative ions, negative acceptor ions, and at the n side we have positive donor ions. So due to this positive and negative charge present at the junction, further movement of electrons and holes are not possible, because we have seen in the p-type we have negative charge, and in the n-type at the junction we have positive charge. So electrons in the n-type will be getting repelled by this negative charge at the p side, and there is no further recombination of electrons and holes. So a barrier or depletion region is created which have positive and negative charge. So an electric field and a contact or built-in potential will be happening at the junction. So this much things we have covered. So coming back to forward bias. What do you mean by forward bias? So forward bias is nothing but when the p side is connected to positive of the external supply and the n side to the negative, the resulting condition is known as forward biasing. So we have a PN junction here. We have a PN junction where this is the P and this is N, and we have negatively charged ions here and positively charged ions at the N side. So when this P type is connected to a positive and N side is connected to negative, then the resulting condition is known as forward biasing. So what will happen? Obviously the potential at the P side is given here Vp, potential at P side is Vp, and the potential at N side is given by Vn. So see here, the figure shows the figure number C shows the forward biasing condition. P side is connected to positive and N side is connected to negative. So the P side is having positive value and N side is having negative, means what will happen at the depletion region? What will be the condition of the depletion region? So we have our PN junction here and we have a depletion region having negative charge here and positive here. This is P and this is N, and we have connected to positive and negative like this. So what will happen to the depletion region? The depletion region potential will reduce because we have more positive value at the P side and we have a negative value at the N side. So the overall voltage or contact potential at the junction will reduce. So what will happen when it is getting reduced? The depletion width will reduce and the electric field will reduce. So we will see what all things will happen one by one. We will see. So the forward condition, here you can see first one, barrier potential before bias. So before bias we have seen Vp and Vn is separated by a voltage known as contact potential. This is Vp having a negative voltage, and Vn we have a positive voltage. That is N side we have a positive charge, P side we have a negative charge, separated by the built-in potential Vo. This is before biasing condition. So after biasing what will happen? After biasing this Vo will reduce by an amount Vo minus Vf, because externally we are supplying with a voltage Vf, so the barrier potential will reduce by an amount of Vo minus Vf. So this barrier height will reduce. Previously it was Vo, now it is Vo minus Vf. The barrier height will reduce. The voltage potential difference between the P and N region will reduce by an amount of Vf. It will be now Vo minus Vf. So see here the points. So what happens? First one, depletion width will decrease. Second one, barrier height is VO minus VF. Third, the height of the electron energy barrier is simply the electronic charge Q times the height of the electrostatic potential barrier. Thus the bands are separated less at Q into VO minus VF under forward bias than at equilibrium. What is the meaning of that? So we have seen under no bias condition, I'll draw it. No bias condition, we have a depletion region here. We have a depletion region. We had a depletion region here. So this is our P side and this is our N side. If I am drawing the depletion continuously like this, this is the conduction band at the P side, this is the valence band at the P side, and for p-type equilibrium or Fermi level is near the P side. It was like this. And what will be the condition of N side? There will be a band bending. There will be a band bending in order to align the Fermi level to a same line. So this is ECN, this is EVN. So this was the condition previously. Now what will happen? Now this barrier will reduce. Previously it was Q times VO. Energy is nothing but charge into potential. So previously the barrier height was Q times VO. That will now reduce by Q times VO minus VF. So there will be a difference in the alignment of Fermi level. So if I am drawing it, this is our PN junction. It is now under forward bias condition, positive at the P and negative at the end side. This is P and this is N. So the electrons in the N side, will acquire the energy from the external circuit, and what will happen? They will cross this barrier and rejoin with the holes in the P side. Previously there was a electrostatic potential here, electric field we had minus plus. Now due to the external supply voltage, the electrons will acquire the energy and it will have a strength to cross the barrier and reaches the P side and combine with holes. So like that electron hole movement will happen. So diffusion current will flow through the PN junction. The barrier potential will reduce, electrons and holes will reach the recombine together, and therefore due to the movement of electrons and holes, diffusion current will be happening. So this depletion width will reduce. So what will happen here? The alignment, if I am drawing this, it will be like this. So here there will be a difference in the Fermi level. This is EF Fermi level at the P side, this is the Fermi level at the N side. There is a difference. That difference is given by Q times VF. And this barrier difference is given by Q times VO minus VF. So when an external voltage is applied, VF is applied, under forward biasing condition, the Fermi level at the P side and N side will align. There will be a difference in the alignment by an amount of Q times VF. So the band tilting will be the, previously the barrier height was Q times VO, now it is Q times VO minus VF. Barrier height will reduce. So fourth point, under forward bias, the Fermi level on N side, EFN, is above Fermi level of P side, EFP. So just now I have drawn the same here. So Fermi level of the P side, if it is here, and the Fermi level of N side will be like this. Fermi level side on the one second. Under forward bias, the Fermi level on the N side, EFN, is above EFP. So like this. This is EFN and this is EFP, and the difference is Q times VO. Okay, it will be like this. In notes, I'll be sharing a notes in that properly it has been drawn, so it will be more clear for you that time. So next is in energy units of electron volts, the Fermi level in two neutral regions are separated by an energy EV numerical equal to applied voltage Vf. That I just now told, Q into Vf. Electron volt, that difference between the two Fermi level will be Q into Vf. Now what will happen to the diffusion current? With forward bias, the barrier is lowered. The barrier is now lowered to V0 minus Vf, and more electrons in the n-side conduction band has sufficient energy to diffuse from n to p over the small barrier. Therefore, the electron diffusion current can be quite large with forward bias. Similarly, more holes can diffuse from p to n under forward bias because of the lower barrier. So, due to the external supply voltage, the electrons in the n side and holes in the p side will acquire energy, right? So here we have a positive and here we have a negative. So these electrons will move and cross the barrier and combine with this. So this process continues. So electrons will be moving like this, holes will move in the opposite direction. So diffusion current I diffusion will be flowing, more current will be flowing. What happens to drift current? Drift current is relatively insensitive to the barrier, height of the barrier or potential barrier. So normally this drift current means what? It is the current due to the minority charge carriers in a PN junction. They are not related to the how much external voltage we have applied or what is the barrier potential. It is not related to that. Drift current is just depending on the production of minority carriers. So minority carriers are generated in a PN junction due to thermal excitation or covalent bond breaking of the covalent bond, like Zener breakdown, avalanche breakdown. In that condition, electron hole pairs will be generated, which will creates the minority charge carriers at the PN junction. So the amount of minority charge carriers or movement of minority charge carriers are not depending on the barrier potential. So drift current is relatively insensitive to the height of the potential barrier. Hence drift current is due to minority carriers which are not affected by the potential barrier significantly. Next is reverse bias condition. Under reverse bias condition, what will happen? In a reverse bias condition, the P side is connected to negative terminal of the battery and N side is connected to positive terminal of the battery as shown in the figure A. So what will happen here? So we know due to the equilibrium condition, we had a barrier or depletion region having negative charge at the P side and positive charge at the N side. Due to that, one electric field E was present. Due to that, one barrier potential VO also were present. So when a reverse bias is applied, that is P is connected to negative terminal of the battery and N is connected to positive terminal of the battery, what will happen? The negative charge at this junction will be increased because P is negative, there already a negative is there. N is positive, there we are giving a positive supply. So the barrier potential will increase or the length of the depletion region will increase because here holes are there, right? In the P we have holes, they will get attracted towards the negative charge, negative terminal. So they will move apart from the junction. So here at the junction the depletion region width will increase. There is no charge carriers at the junction, so they will move towards the sides of the silicon bar. So at the junction there is no charge carriers, so depletion width will increase, electric field will increase, and contact potential VO will increase. And what will happen to the barrier height? Barrier height also will increase by an amount of VO plus VR. So barrier height will increase by VO plus VR. So you can see here the figure, this is Vp and this is Vn. The difference between the potential is now VO plus VR. So see here, depletion width increases, barrier height is VO plus VR. So energy band, if you are drawing, what will happen to the energy band? So if I am drawing the energy band, this is the P side This is E, C, P conduction band of P side. This is valence band of P side, and we had the Fermi level here, that is E, F. Now if I am considering this, this is ECN and this is EVN. So ECN and VCN. So under reverse bias, Fermi level on P side EFP is above the Fermi level on N side, that is EFN. So Fermi level will be here. So this difference is nothing but Q times VR. This difference will be Q times VR, and the overall this difference will be Q times VO plus VR. VO plus VR. So this barrier height will be more in the case of reverse bias. Barrier height is more. So barrier height has been increased. Barrier depletion width increases, barrier height increases, band is separated by Q into VO plus VR under reverse bias. Fermi level on P side EFP is above EFN by energy QVR. So these are the things what happens under reverse bias. Now what will be the condition of diffusion current? So diffusion current, so we have seen all the charge carriers in the P and N, that is majority carriers in the P and N, will move towards the positive and negative terminal. So at the junction there is no mobile charge carriers, all are immobile acceptor and donor ions. So this is the junction. So the condition will be now like this. We have more and more negative uncovered donor and acceptor ions at the junction, and the holes here electrons at this region. This is P and this is N. This is happening due to the negatively charged terminal connected to P and positive charged terminal connected to N. So there is no combination of electron or holes, or electron or hole movement is not there to create any diffusion current. So diffusion current under reverse bias is 0. So for reverse bias, the barrier becomes so large, VO plus VR, that almost nil electrons in the N side conduction band or holes in the P side valence band have enough energy to recombine or cross the junction. Surmount means cross the junction. Therefore, the diffusion current is usually negligible for reverse bias. Then what about the drift current? The drift current is not significantly affected, because we had told drift current is not depending on the externally applied potential or anything like that. It just depend on the production of minority charge carriers in the P and N side region, which will happen normally due to thermal excitation or any other Zener breakdown or avalanche breakdown condition. So supply of the minority carriers on each side of the junction required to participate in drift component of current is generated by thermal excitation of electron hole pairs. The resulting current due to drift of generated carriers across the junction is commonly called generation current, since its magnitude depends entirely on the rate of generation of electron hole pair. This is the main current in reverse bias. So in reverse bias we have only this small amount of current which happens due to the minority charge carriers present, recombination of minority charge carriers present in the P and N type N side of the semiconductor. So only drift current small, that is will be in the range of microampere or nanoampere, that means small reverse current will be present in the PN junction under reverse bias, and diffusion current is 0. So under no bias condition, we have seen there are two types of current happening in the PN junction. One is diffusion current, another one is drift current. So under no bias condition, this drift current will cancel with this diffusion current, there will be small amount of diffusion current and small amount of drift current that will be getting cancelled. So we have seen under equilibrium or no bias condition, the total current flow in a semiconductor is 0. That is I diffusion minus I generation is equal to 0 when the external voltage V is equal to 0. That is the first one, no bias condition. So applying a forward bias increases the probability of diffusion of electron or hole by a factor of e raised to q v by kt. So when a forward bias is applied, the electron hole diffusion will increase by a factor, exponentially it will increase by a factor of e raised to q v by kt, where v is the externally applied voltage, k is the Boltzmann constant, q is the charge of an electron, and T is the temperature, absolute temperature. So the diffusion current increases by the same amount. So under forward bias, diffusion current increased by an amount e raised to q v by kt. If the absolute value of generation current is I naught, then at equilibrium the diffusion current is also I naught. So generation current means what? Due to thermal excitation or any other process, if any electron hole pair is generated in a p-n junction, and the movement of that, due to the movement of those minority charge carriers, what amount of current is flowing in a p-n junction, that is known as generation current. So under equilibrium condition, if I naught is the generation current, under equilibrium condition this is same as the diffusion current. Diffusion current is same as this I naught. So with forward bias, the diffusion current is increased by a factor of e raised to qv by kt, means diffusion current can be written as I diffusion is equal to I naught into e raised to qv by kt. qv by kt. Okay. So the total current is forward current minus generation current. So we have seen the total current I is equal to I drift minus I diffusion, because the both current are in opposite direction. So we are using I diffusion minus I drift, because both the current are in opposite direction. So here how we will write, the I diffusion is now I naught. I naught is nothing but the generation current, absolute value of the generation current, into e raised to qv by kt minus generation current, that is nothing but I naught. So how can we write together? The total current under forward bias condition is I is equal to I naught, taking common, I naught into e raised to qv by kt minus 1. So this is the total current under forward bias. So what are the things I have told you now? Now what will be the case of reverse bias? Reverse bias, we don't have diffusion current. So the total current will be I is equal to minus I naught. I diffusion is equal to 0. So I is equal to minus I naught under reverse bias, and under forward bias I is equal to I naught into e raised to q v by kt minus 1. Now if you are assuming one value for each condition, so in the above expression, the V is positive for forward bias and V is negative for reverse bias. We will see why it's so. We have total current under forward bias is I is equal to I naught into e raised to q v by kt minus 1. Okay. So when this V value, V is nothing but the externally applied voltage, when this V is positive, what will happen? That will be e raised to a positive term, that is obviously greater than 1, right? E raised to a positive term is greater than 1. So the answer will be I is equal to I naught into e raised to q v by kt. The minus 1 is not having much impact. Okay. So this is an exponential value. So under forward bias condition, if you are drawing the graph, it will be like this. Forward bias means Vf versus current. There will be exponential increase in the current under forward bias. Now what will be the case under reverse bias? Under reverse bias, the current I is equal to I naught into e raised to q v by kt minus 1. So this V is reverse bias means V is negative voltage. So e raised to a negative voltage is very small, so it will be almost equal to minus I naught. So under reverse bias we have a negative current which is very small, which is same as the drift current or generation current I naught, which is very small in the value of microamperes. So you can see the graph here. So if V is greater than Q by KT, the first term is much greater than 1 and the current increases exponentially in forward bias. Under reverse bias, V is negative, so the first term is negligible and the current is minus I naught. So current is from N to P. This current is called reverse saturation current. So the reverse bias current, which is very small, that is in the direction opposite to the diffusion current, that is from N to P, opposite direction. This is known as reverse saturation current. So because of exponential term, PN diode is highly non-linear. So diode has a non-linear device, that has to be in your mind, and the VI characteristics is shown in this figure. So in the forward bias condition we have an exponential curve, and the reverse bias condition we have a small amount of negative current from N to P. So next I will share with you the notes, handwritten notes, so you go through that also. Okay, thank you.